Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to give you guys my Game 5 preview of the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks game that tips off tomorrow night on TNT at Madison Square Garden. And for those guys that don't know, Marv Albert will actually be calling the game. And as you guys know, he was the voice of the Knicks before Mike Breen took over, and Marv Albert's also retiring. So it'll be cool to see Marv Albert call the Knicks before he gets to retire. Definitely want to bring that up before I hop into the video. But guys, this game is do or die. If the Knicks lose, the season's over. But we are going home, back to Madison Square Garden, and we're going up against the Atlanta Hawks team that just beat us twice in a row in Atlanta, and we got to make the proper adjustments, and I'm going to give you guys what I think the Knicks need to do in order to get this victory in Game 5. So before I hop into this preview, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to Knicks Media, do not forget to smash that subscribe button. If you guys want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, you guys know where to find me. And please, if you enjoy the video, do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right in. So starting off with today's news, we got Clint Capella talking some smack in the press conference about the New York Knicks, saying that he wants us to send us home on vacation tomorrow night, that the Knicks are trying to play with some physicality and it's not working. Basically just throwing shade at the Knicks and talking crap in the press conference. And then Julius Randle and D Rose and RJ got asked about it, and I love Derrick Rose's response. He's like, I'm way too old for this right now. I'm 32 years old. I never talked like that in my life, and I'm not going to start now. That's just the most Derrick Rose comment you can get. That's just a little drama that they're trying to brew in the media of what Clint Capella had to say. But man, let's hope this New York Knicks team can shut him up, because I for sure do not want to go home. Well, I don't want the Knicks to go home, rather, tomorrow night. And I know you guys watching this video, Knicks fans, we do not want to see the Knicks season to come to an end tomorrow night against the Hawks. So how the hell are we going to get this victory? Because right now it seems like the Hawks have all the momentum, especially offensively. They're just not missing from downtown. We're leaving them open. They feel like they have more energy and will to win than we do. The game plan defensively and offensively is working way better for them than it is for us. So what kind of adjustments should we expect from the New York Knicks? The main adjustment I want to see the New York Knicks make in Game 5 is defense, because that's been the identity of this New York Knicks team all throughout the regular season. You guys know where we finished. We were top 5 in defensive rating, first in opponent's field goal percentage, first in three-point percentage, and first in opponent's points scored per game. So our defense was lights out all throughout the regular season. But as we know, the regular season and the playoffs are a completely different animal. So how can we contain this potent Atlanta Hawks offense? Whether that's Trae Young, Herter, Bogdanovic, Danilo Gallinari, DeAndre Hunter, these guys seem like they don't miss from three if we give them any opportunities to shoot the ball when they're open. So we need to first contain Trae Young in the pick and roll with Clint Capella. I think that's where we struggle the most, because we let Trae Young do whatever he wants. If we play him and we pressure the ball, we try to double team, then they're going to give it to John Collins, and John Collins is going to lob it up to Clint Capella. If we let Trae Young get past us and we defend the pick and roll and we don't let Trae Young to put up a floater, then he's going to throw up a lob himself to Clint Capella. And if we defend both Trae Young and Clint Capella, that means we're leaving an open shooter, and that means Danilo Gallinari, that means Bogdanovic is open in the corner and Trae Young dishes it out. So that's the big struggle, I feel like, the most for this Knicks team in the playoffs. Obviously, the Julius Randle not playing to his highest potential is a big reason why as well, but I feel like the defense is not helping us out, because where are these games where we're losing? It's like one quarter, we let the Hawks go on a crazy run, and then we can just not fight back because our defense cannot get stops. Because if you looked at all the losses we had in Atlanta, the two losses, Game 3 and Game 4, Game 3, we lost the game in the second quarter. We let the Hawks go on like a 23-4 run, and then ever since then, we were just even keel throughout the rest of the game with the Hawks. We were scoring efficiently, but we couldn't get stops, which caused us to lose the game. And then Game 4, the third quarter is where we fell apart. Going into halftime, we were only down by 3 or 4 points, and we were playing really good basketball. The first quarter, we actually had the lead, and then the third quarter, we let the Atlanta Hawks come out there and fire away, and we just could not stop them. They went on this crazy run, and then they got the lead in the third quarter, and we could not get back because our defense could not stop them down the stretch. And if we're playing from behind, if you're playing down 10 points, you need to be able to get stops to claw your way back. It doesn't matter how many buckets you score. You could score literally every single possession, but if we can't get any stops on the other end, then we're never going to be able to come back. So these Knicks need to focus in on how can we prevent these Atlanta Hawks going on these crazy, ridiculous runs, because all throughout the series, there's times where they just light it up and they cannot miss, and we struggle on the offensive end, and that just gives them a huge cushion. So I think the biggest question mark is how are the Knicks going to avoid the Atlanta Hawks to go on that crazy run? Can we answer with our own run if they do that? Because basketball is a game of runs. It's natural, and that's usually what happens throughout the course of the game. But if you look at what happened the previous games, it's really, history repeats itself. So hopefully we can, hone in on defense, because I feel like that's where this Knicks team needs to start being more physical, being more bruised. Let them, shoot the ball, those contested mid-range jump shots. That's where this defense really was known as. They forced players to shoot when they're uncomfortable, and we're not seeing that from the Knicks this season, or rather in the playoffs. But what else do we need to see? Obviously, we need Julius Randle to play like he did all throughout the regular season. I see there's a lot of Knicks fans on Twitter already giving up on Randle, saying that he's not worth a max contract. He doesn't deserve to be part of the future. I don't know, guys. I disagree. I still believe in Julius Randle. He's somebody that needs to have experience and learn from it. We saw that in his first year on the Knicks. He did not play well. He comes back, wins Most Improved Player, becomes an All-Star, first Knick of all time, 2010-5. We know that what Randle can do, and this is a really good adjustment period for Julius Randle. He needs to understand that when you're the number one option on a playoff team, you're going to be honed in on, and the game plan is going to be all about stopping you. And maybe Julius Randle's proving that he cannot be a number one option on a team, but I feel like Knicks fans never expected that. We love Julius Randle's ascendance as a star on the Knicks, but we never really expected Julius Randle to be the number one option when we win a championship, right? Like, we know that it's very unrealistic. We knew going into the playoffs that we're realistically not winning the NBA championship. I think everybody knew that, but we wanted to make a run. We wanted to win the first round. We wanted to beat the Hawks and Julius Randle lead us, because he's been a leader all throughout the season. But now we're realizing, like, wait, Julius Randle, he's a great player. He's an all-star caliber player, most improved player, but maybe he just can't be the number one option. He needs another superstar alongside him, and that's not the end of the world. I feel like some people are making it like that's the end of the world, that Julius Randle cannot be the number one option on a championship caliber team. I didn't expect that from Randle. I knew that in the offseason and 2 off seasons from now, we needed to pair him up with somebody else and have RJ Barrett continue to grow and just build a really good team around Julius. And that's exactly what the Atlanta Hawks did with Trae Young. Trae Young is an ascending superstar, and they have talent all around Trae Young. They went out and got Bogdanovich in free agency, Danilo Gallinari. They made a trade for Clint Capella. They're surrounding Trae Young with talent, and you're seeing it on full display right now. The Atlanta Hawks got aggressive, and Trae Young in his first playoff performance is playing like an absolute stud. And just because Trae Young's first playoff performance looks like he is an absolute beast, and Julius Randle is not, I still do not feel like you can just give up on Randle as a good basketball player. I really don't. He obviously has been struggling. He's not been shooting the ball well, and I really think the biggest reason for Randle's struggles is the defensive game plan for the Atlanta Hawks. They're not allowing him to get comfortable. They're not allowing Julius Randle to get to his spots in the baseline. Whenever he has the ball, they double team him, they shadow him, and he's not making the quick reads. He's not making the quick decisions. He needs somebody else to really take the pressure off of his shoulders, and that's what Derrick Rose has been doing to an extent. RJ Barrett had a good game 4. Hopefully he can bounce back, but that's really my take on Julius Randle. I know some of you guys will probably disagree with everything I just said, and that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to Game 5 is defending home court. We're back at the Garden. Unfortunately, Game 1 we lost at the buzzer. Trae Young hit a bucket with 0.9 seconds left, and that was deflating. That was a really unfortunate sequence of events, because that gave up home court advantage right there. And then Game 2, we obviously got the victory, and then we lost 2 straight games against the Atlanta Hawks. So now we're back home in the Garden. Can we defend home court? We have easily the most crazy fan base in the world, especially in the NBA when it comes to home court advantage. The fans at the Garden are insane. The energy is ridiculous. I really hope this Knicks team can go out and just prove that we can feed off the energy of the crowd, because if there's a sequence of events where there's a block shot and then a bucket and then a defensive stop and then a bucket, like, we can feed off the energy. The crowd goes absolutely insane. For those of you guys that have been to the game or even just watching on television, you know that this Knicks team feeds off the energy. Hopefully we can get a momentum, because that's what home court advantage is all about, especially with 15,000 plus fans that are diehard Knicks fans screaming their asses off. It's awesome to see that we can do that as a New York Knicks fans, give them that advantage as being home court, but game 1 we fell short. So I just want to see them defend home court, guys. I'm expecting a W in game 5. I really am. I do not feel like the New York Knicks are going to go down in 5. I think they have a lot to prove. They've been playing uncomfortable all season. They've been defying expectations all season, and we just need to make sure that we can go out there and get the job done. My X factor for this game is probably going to be RJ Barrett, because RJ had his best performance of the playoffs in game 4. He finished with 21 points, shot 53% from the field, very efficiently, 2 steals, 4 dimes, 6 boards. So he was doing everything you need in order to be a good basketball player and impact on winning. No, we lost the game, but I feel like the difference between RJ Barrett in game 4 and RJ Barrett in game 1 through 3, he was not aggressive in games 1 through 3. Game 4, he was very aggressive. He was looking at the rim. He was tacking. He was getting to the free throw line. He was shooting his shots. He was in rhythm. And I want to see that RJ Barrett in game 5. I feel like there's a lot of times where they don't run plays for him. I feel like RJ Barrett's role at times is just to be a spot-up shooter in the corner, which I'm okay with because he shot those at a very high rate all throughout the regular season. Unfortunately, he's not really hitting his 3-pointers like he did in the regular season, the playoffs. But run plays for RJ. Let him have the ball in his hands. Let him, facilitate the rock. Let him drive to the rim more often. I'm so sick of watching RJ just camp in the corners and there's no plays run for him. I feel like in game 4, Thibodeau told RJ, we want you to be aggressive. So let's see RJ do that again and even take it up another notch, because this man is 20 years old, the youngest player on the Knicks. For him to get this playoff experience at such a young age is only going to make him a better player. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is definitely the best player on the Knicks so far in the playoffs. He's been consistently just putting the ball in the rim, efficiently getting his teammates involved. But I want to see Derrick Rose continue it. Can he do it? Because he is playing one of his best basketball in a long time. And Derrick Rose is such a big reason why we've been in the games at times, and he slows the game down. He's so methodical with the ball. Hopefully he can keep that up. When Obi Toppin's on the floor, I want to see him get the ball more often. There's way too many times where I see Obi Toppin cut to the rim and nobody gives him the ball and he's wide open. It drives me insane. So can Derrick Rose give Obi the ball more often? I know that he found him for a crazy 3-court alley-oop, but I want to see whoever's the point guard on the floor when Obi Toppin's on the floor, please feed him the rock, because Obi Toppin is playing so confidently right now. I think that's the biggest positive we could take away from this playoff series, whether we win or lose, is Obi Toppin. He had his career high in game 4. He's playing a different type of basketball right now than he ever did throughout the regular season. He's playing confident. He's playing aggressive. He's not passive. He's not nervous. He's shooting with rhythm, and I just love that from Obi Toppin. I always felt that was his problem, where we never gave him the proper opportunity. Whenever the ball was in his hand, it felt like he needed to pass it because he did not have freedom to attack the rim. There was one sequence in game 4 where he had the ball, drove with his left hand, finished with his left hand. It was gorgeous. I'm like, yo, Obi, do that more often, bro. Like, I have so much confidence in you, and I love seeing the confidence within you. So hopefully Obi can continue that. But yeah, guys, that's really it for the preview video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you expecting a victory? Are you just completely deflated and you want the next season to be over right now? I'm personally not. I want us to go out with a fight. I want us to take care of business out on home court and then worry about game 6 if we can get there. But guys, I appreciate all the support here in Knicks Media. It means a lot to me. Don't let this season become a failure in your minds, even if we lose game 5, guys. That's how I'm looking at it. We defied expectations. We are here right now. Nobody expected us to be the 4th seed. I know it's a huge disappointment if we go down in 5 and we lose in the first round to the Atlanta Hawks, but I'm personally not taking it as the biggest negative in the world, because we saw Julius Randle turn into an all-star, and yes, I know he's not performing in the playoffs, but I think that he's going to learn from these mistakes. RJ Barrett has proved to be an ascending player of his own, and we have a very young nucleus. We have the lowest payroll in the NBA. We have 4 draft picks this year, the most cap space in the league in free agency, so there's a lot of things to be excited about for these New York Knicks in the future, guys. Trust me. Do not take this playoff performance as a way to just throw out this season out the window, because that's not what I'm doing, and that's not what you should do either. So that does it for this one. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's go Knicks, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.